This is about updating my move into the Zen temple, and lots of stories I was talking, but I found that I was recording, so I have to redo it. If I can cover the same thing, I don't know. But this is halfway into my first day of moving into this Zen temple in Hawaii. I was going through learning the procedures, what to do, what not to do, where things are to mesh into the life. So there, a fairly long list of it, and I have some notes, including when to bow, which direction you look at, and whether you sit down or be flat, certain procedure, when you walk into the room of this, so and so, if you put the incense, how, when you hit the bell, what to do, depending upon the situation, and when you meet Roshi or the Zen monk, to go through koan exercise, for example. It's one-to-one discussion. What is the procedure? And what about the food, clothing, and ants? Ants are crawling, and one guy who came here couldn't stand the ants, so he left. I think I'll stay, for sure. But they use the ant spray to kill. My background in Vipassana is to not to kill. My natural tendency is how to trap them into the bag or something and let them be out into the nature. So those things, I have to reorient myself so that I can fit into the flow of what they do without disturbance. They have a time to be quiet from 8 p.m. to 7 a.m. silence. But I'm so used to in Vipassana, where if I'm there for 10 days, that's typically the one I did, for 9 days and a half, or maybe more, I don't remember exactly, no talk, no eye contact to anyone, except certain situation. And here are 4 people staying as a resident, and others are coming, let's say Sunday or Wednesday, a few hours or whole day or half a day, depending upon the program. Those are the lay people. But the resident, I think, is also semi-lay people, but more dedicated. So the procedure of bowing, or which direction, or even putting this incense, and how to go through this dokusan, which is the meeting with the monk or Roshi, for the koan exercise, or even ringing the bell, the timing, who to do it, and into the kitchen, how you locate your stuff, community stuff, food used for session, separating, and all the protocols. For example, there was a guy, I don't know if I mentioned on this video, he couldn't stand the ants, so he left. I'll be staying here, but it's interesting to hear such a story. Okay, so those are just a little bit of the internal stuff, the protocol. Externally, I met a few people as I was walking around for a little exercise. This is the first half a day. Two people I met. One is Spencer, who works in the printing business, but also can be related here. And we had a good conversation. Shishi is a local. He was born and raised and is still here. Chinese background with Hawaiian blood and Caucasian too. Walking two dogs, and we get to know each other, and they told me the place, where to go, where to be careful, things like that. And why don't you meet this guy or that guy? You'll be okay, or something like that. I'm a curious guy to get to know people, but also the activities, what I can do and what I shouldn't. The same thing with the Zen temple, but externally, figuring out what to do. So I guess that's what I already mentioned, but since I didn't record, I hope I brought some interesting stuff. Maybe ordinary stuff, and it's lots of common sense. But what's good for me is realigning, and I like the quietitude here. So far, I'm quite happy, and this afternoon, I'm gonna go get some food item, and Keisha has a car, so I don't have to have my bicycle to go down and figure out what to do. I have no idea what I can do with the food, but last night she volunteered, so that's gonna happen. And more getting ready into merging into their way of life to make the most of it. I don't know if anybody listening would ask why I do this. Let me talk in the other video, maybe it's simpler to do it that way. Thank you. May all beings be happy. New life. See how it goes.